the now and the then, where the story starts and never ends. Tune in, lean and feel the groove. Every moment, a vibe you can't lose. It's for the culture, by the culture. Braylon got the soul to show you. Breaking it down, lifting it higher. Feel the rhythm, spark the fire.
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Brayley's Virtual Tour Live. Glad to have all of you here in the building with me. So, y'all, Neal Mohan, the CEO of YouTube, did an interview with the New York Times, and I want to break it down with y'all, give my commentary on it. It is public information, and you know what we do with public information? We expand the conversation. So with that being said, let's get to it, because higher is waiting, low is available. But either way, we got to go on tour. Yes, indeed, we do. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is, hey, everybody, welcome in. Glad to have all of you here. So we're going to start off with some articles that I've utilized before to bring you to that interview from the New York Times. Hello, Patricia Parrish. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. So let's get to that. So right here, YouTube set rules out return to originals despite TV. Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. That's very kind of you to say that. Thank you so much. Glad to have you here. YouTube rules out return to originals despite TV set viewing boom. We have no interest whatsoever in producing our own content. Let's keep going. This is from MIP. Hey, que pasa? I'm guessing that's a hello there. Glad to have you in, Colton Springer there. Yes, indeed. This comes to us from Deadline. This happened at MIP London. So that is Pedro Pena there. During a keynote interview at MIP London today, or that day at the IET London Conference Center, YouTube Vice President of Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Pedro Pena, said there was no appetite whatsoever to return to a YouTube original strategy. Instead, he outlined why the Google-owned site was sticking to aggregation and providing a platform for content creators from the kid in their bedroom all the way to the biggest producer. There's a lot of misconceptions about YouTube and fears associated to what YouTube presents and does, said Pena. The first thing to say is that we're an open platform. We exist to provide the ability for content creators to use the platform, upload content, make it available. So here's the thing, right? They used to have a platform called YouTube Red, right? Before it became YouTube Premium. And they had some YouTube originals on there, but it was from bigger content creators. And there was a article just recently, not too long ago actually, that talked about you're not as boring as the others and you're pretty entertaining. Have you been watching me for a while, Patricia? Okay, then thank you so much. I do the best I can. Actually, let me see something real quick. I think I have that article. Hang on. Yep, I got it. Okay. We'll get to that article here in a little bit. Like I said before, they had YouTube originals, right? But it was from bigger content creators. The thing that really gets to me is that, like I said on the thumbnail, you have content creators that have moved off of YouTube, right? You have Mr. Beast, who went to Amazon for Beast Games. You have Liza Koshy, who went to Nickelodeon and Double Dare. She also has hosted Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve on ABC. You have Markiplier, who just did a movie called Iron Lung, independent film, and made it do what it do in Hollywood. And then you have Lily Singh, who did an NBC late night show called Little Late with Lily Singh. So it's interesting that Pedro Pena said this statement of there's not an appetite whatsoever to return to a YouTube original strategy when I've pitched YouTube Studio several times, as you're about to see here in a little bit. But let's keep going. While YouTube exited the original content business, we weren't good at picking content. This comes to us from Variety.com. YouTube has tried its hand at funding original content more than once with disappointing results. 10 years ago, YouTube believed it needed to more directly compete with the Netflixes of the world. Robert Cannell, then YouTube's chief business officer, who left to become CEO of Warner Music Group in 2023. In 2015, hired TV veteran Suzanne Daniels to build a slate of original programming available exclusively to subscribers of YouTube Red, later rebranded to Premium, like I said. Daniels, who had been MTV's head of programming and a top executive at the WB and Lifetime, led the team that greenlit series featuring YouTube creators like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Red Link, and Liza Koshy, as well as scripted originals like Karate Kid, Offshoot, Cobra Kai. However, the originals were not delivering the payback YouTube executives anticipated via subscriptions. The platform shifted to make YouTube originals available free with ads and attempt to better monetize them. In 2019, YouTube started to exit the scripted game to focus on unscripted fare. Some of its popular series found homes elsewhere. In 2020, Cobra Kai from Sony Pictures Television was picked up after 2 seasons on YouTube by Netflix, will run for another 4 seasons. Step Up, based on the film series, lived on YouTube for 2 seasons, moved to Stars for a third and final season. Then in early 2022, YouTube wound down the originals initiative altogether. Daniels left YouTube that spring. Neal Mohan, who's the CEO of YouTube, who became YouTube CEO in February 2023, says the one-time thesis that was that the platform could give a boost to homegrown creators by financing bigger ticket productions and then share in the upside. What happened, he says, is that popular YouTubers organically began producing premium level content that was as good as anything on TV or other streaming services. Big creators on YouTube are the new Hollywood in that sense because they are producing the content that people want to watch, Mahone says. And so that eliminated the need for us to do anything in that regard because our careers were doing it on their own. So here's the thing with that, right? At the beginning, middle, end of the day, I think that you all thought that your platform was big enough to produce originals. It was, but it wasn't. See, YouTube is a amplifier, right? And what do I always say about linear television? Linear television showcases what people can be curious about. Streaming reflects what people embrace. Linear TV showcases what people could be curious about. Streaming reflects what people embrace. Linear television showcases what people could be curious about. Streaming reflects what people embrace. So, with Netflix showcases what people could be curious about. Streaming, you guys, YouTube reflect what people actually embrace. YouTube showcases what people are curious about. YouTube reflects what people embrace. Netflix showcase what people could be curious about, and YouTube reflects what people embrace, right? So that is the T on that. Now, I want to bring up an article that I did talk about very recently here. Okay. YouTube executive counters Netflix rivalry talk, highlighting platforms' global reach and $100 billion in creator economy payout. YouTube's managing director in France and South Europe, Justine Riz, spoke at a fireside chat hosted by Series Mania in Lee. So this happened on March 25th, 2026. So a very recent article here. A week after Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos called YouTube a straightforward direct competitor, the platform's managing director in France and South Europe, Justine Riz, proved him right as she unpacked YouTube's strategy in the content business and global reach. For example, one of those YouTube shows was Pop the Balloon. You guys remember that? Now, Pop the Balloon is still popping on YouTube, but it was canceled after one season. Yeah, yeah. I know. Let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Trying to think of this. So, with that being said, here's an article here just to show, right, who's made the jump to Netflix. Haters back off. Y'all know who that is. That is the one and only Colleen Ballinger, who had Miranda Sings, Coco Melon on YouTube, explained. Vox Media had the company behind the website and popular YouTube channel, has long produced the series Explain that and to YouTube, Netflix rather. Oddballs, Odd Ones Out, and Netflix first confirmed that they were teaming up to bring their popular anime YouTube for a brand new show called Oddballs, the digital mating circus. In 2024, Netflix made an unconventional deal with animation studio Glitch, which has 13 million subscribers. So if you know Glitch, you know SMG4, right? So them. Miss Rachel was on YouTube. Move over to Netflix. Inside, the sideman behind this reality competition series. It began its life on YouTube and moved exclusively to Netflix for a second season. Kill Tony is a live podcast stand-up comedy show that found its feet on YouTube. Son of a Donkey went onto YouTube. Of course, Cobra Kai, Osiris, and Kai. So when you say, Neal Mohan, welcome in. Marie Casas, welcome in. Glad to have you here. When you say, Neal Mohan, that nobody's moved from YouTube, that's a lie, because Breakfast Club moved from YouTube to Netflix, and we see what happened with them, right? But I want to bring up something else, too, if you don't mind. Netflix in talks to air Hot Ones live shows. Netflix is looking to heat up its live television slate. The streamer is in talks with BuzzFeed. It was formerly at BuzzFeed Hot Ones, but now it's First Week Feast. But either way, the streamer was in talks with BuzzFeed to air live versions of Hot Ones, the popular YouTube talk series hosted by Sean Evans that puts celebrities in the hot seat by forcing them to answer questions while eating increasingly spicy chicken wings, a source confirms to Variety. While no deals are yet in place, Netflix is interested in Evans hosting several live episodes of Hot Ones created specifically for Netflix. A source emphasized that the negotiations are in the early stages. So when you say, right, that nobody leaves YouTube, that's a lie. It didn't take me that long, Neil, to find those articles, sir. Okay, so let's continue on with that article. A week after Netflix's co-CEO Ted Sarandos called YouTube a straightforward direct competitor, the platform's managing director in France and South Europe, Justine Riz, proved him right as she unpacked YouTube's global YouTube strategy in the content business and global reach. So right here, speaking at a five-star chat hosted at Series Mania in Lee, the Paris-based executive said YouTube paid out more than $100 billion to creators, artists, and media companies between 2021 and 2025, the end of last year. That figure outpaces Netflix's estimated $79.5 billion in cash content spending over the same period. She said the comparison with Netflix highlights YouTube's growing weight in the global content economy, even as it stops short of acting as a conventional commissioner. YouTube does not buy upfront and doesn't commission content as a broadcaster or streaming platform do. But we pay back more than half of our revenue to the right owners who are behind the YouTube channel, she said. She said YouTube tried to commission content like streamers in the past when it launched YouTube Red and abandoned it. We completely failed, she said candidly. We started to acquire some content, but when you go into that direction, first of all, it's a different job. You have to have a completely different set of skills. And then you have to propose a new grid with new formats every month, every week, every day, every hour. So here's the problem, right, with this, Justine Rist. You are correct and incorrect, my darling. With YouTube Red, it was a premium platform, correct? Yes, it was. The problem was y'all didn't really have a launching pad to talk about these shows, right? So imagine if you had Yin, YouTube Entertainment Network on YouTube TV with YouTube, Entertainment News this morning, YouTube Entertainment News today, YouTube Entertainment News tonight, right? I think YouTube TV has 8 million subscribers, right? Paid subscribers, by the way. But still subscribers in terms of just the totality of it all, right? So if you had a platform to promote your YouTube originals, then maybe people would know about them. And with YouTube Studios, what would happen is, let's just say, for example, right? Let's just say Brainley's Virtual Tour Live becomes a original on So let's just say that Brainley's Virtual Tour Live becomes a Hulu original, right? So it would be YouTube Studios gets a cut, right? Then Hulu gets a cut, then I get a cut, right? So let's just say that you take 10 shows, right? 10 shows that YouTubers are already producing, already creating, and already are broadcasting on your platform, that some of them are like Mr. Beast, some of them are like me, right? And other content creators that they may not be Mr. Beast or Liza Koshy yet, but they have the sauce, they have the juice, they have the flavor to go the distance, right? And you do, let's just say, a 2 to 3 year deal. And within those 2 to 3 years, then you guys, every year, you guys do a content review, sit down with that content creator virtually or in person. They got to fly out and they make it do what it do. You pitch those 10 shows to 10 different platforms, right? And then guess what? Everybody gets cut, but then after 100 episodes, it's off net syndication. So then you can sell those YouTube originals to other networks, and then the funneling of money comes in for YouTube, the production company, and the content creator. So that's why it failed. Because with a streaming service, y'all did not understand that you just can't put up the most popular people without it relating, right? So just because they're popular doesn't mean that the culture is going to embrace them. Just because they're popular doesn't mean the culture is going to embrace the format. Just because they're popular, the person's popular, doesn't mean the culture is going to embrace the format. That's why it failed. YouTube Studios can work. And like I said, you have Tubi with Studios, right? I'm going to play that video here in a minute. Then you have NBC Universal Launch Unscripted Accelerator, right? Where 5 content creators got a $20,000 development deal. It used to be for NBC Universal and all the cable networks before the cable network spun off into their own company called Versant. Bravo is staying with NBC Universal and Peacock as well. So those 5 content creators have a $20,000 production deal with NBC Universal, Peacock, and Bravo. And then you have the Blavity Career Collective that you could reached 250 million monthly active users. So here is a little video about Studio.
Yeah, we hustle all day. Yeah, we're working, let me play. You know me, work real hard, now we're ready, let's play. Ay, hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go, yeah. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor. Yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor. Yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor. Yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor. Yeah, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder.
So you saw that, right? Build your hype team, right? Bring your show first. Build your hype team. If your show is a hit, we'll greenlight the next one. No bullshit. That's what they said, okay, at Tubi. Now, here's the gag. You ready for this? Because long-form content is trending more and more and more, Tubi and TikTok just did a partnership. No, I'm not joking. Give me a moment. So as you can see here, 67% of U.S. consumers think creators are more authentic than TV. So Tubi is teaming up with TikTok. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Streaming service Tubi and its parent company Fox are all about creators these days, and a partnership with TikTok will double down on that commitment. The two platforms are united to create a creator-verse incubator that will help creators transition into the realm of long-form programming. The partners Tubi chose for its inaugural incubator cohort will develop original series that will premiere exclusively on the free-to-watch content hub, which, by the way, reaches 100 million monthly active users. Both scripted and unscripted formats will be considered, and Tubi plans to launch shows across a variety of genres. The first creator-verse participants will be revealed in the summer. And not to mention, Fox has Fox Creator Studios, with the first vertical being cooking and food, with Roseanne Pansino and Gordon Ramsay leading that vertical. You don't think entertainment and pop culture is going to be coming up? You don't think horror is going to be coming up? You don't think that, bartending and mixology is going to be coming up as a vertical? You don't think tech will be coming up as a vertical? And then you got to think about Fox One. Fox One is Fox's streaming platform. They said there's not going to be any original content. If you have Fox Creator Studios, I'm sure you're going to put some original content on Fox One. So, Fox, NBC Universal, two big players in the world of broadcasting, network broadcasting, is already working with content creators. And the platform that has the most content creators going to mainstream media doesn't want to recognize what needs to be done. And on top of that, you guys say you don't know how to pick original content, right? Y'all broadcasted a whole NFL football game from Sao Paulo, Brazil for free on YouTube. And then you're bringing the Oscars to YouTube in 2029. You guys got the deal for 2029, 2030, 31, 32, 33. So 5 years. But you failed again the venue deal. Now, I'm sure that they were probably talking, maybe it didn't work out. But on the surface of it all, the Academy and AEG decided rather than stay in the Dolby Theater, formerly known as Kodak Theater, that the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences partnered with a Canadian firm and invested $94 million that's already built for the Oscars. AEG and the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, the Oscars, said, we're going to move it to the Peacock Theater. And now the Academy has to invest more money into the Peacock Theater. So their thinking is, hey, guess what? Hopefully by 2029, because you got 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, hopefully in 4 years, the Peacock Theater will be where it needs to be. So that's a 10-year deal from 2029 to 2039. But y'all couldn't get the Oscars at YouTube Theater, which is by SoFi Stadium. I mean, like I said, SoFi Stadium could have the Oscars watch party in the stadium, and then the American Airlines Arena could have been for the red carpet and all that stuff, and fan activation zones for, you know, fans and brands and everything in between. And then inside could have been the Oscars. Now, for those of you who don't know, I believe the Dolby Theater holds 3,334 people. The Peacock Theater holds 7,100 people. But here's the gag. You ready for this? YouTube Theater holds 6,000 people. 1,100 less people. But you mean tell me you're bringing the Oscars to YouTube in 2029, but you couldn't get it to happen at the YouTube Theater? Okay. So let's look at some history of Braylon Lee talking about YouTube Studios, okay? So right here, the host discusses reports from Variety saying YouTube is now worth between $457 billion and $550 billion. It is described as the new king of all media, outperforming traditional TV networks like Disney and Fox. And there's that Pedro Pena article right there. And NBC Universal in engagement and viewing time. And we keep scrolling. YouTube original strategy. Braylon covers YouTube's past efforts with original content, which were ultimately shuttered in 2022 to allow the platform to refocus on user-generated content and short-form shorts. The vision for YouTube Studios. The host proposes a theory that YouTube could potentially serve as an aggregator or jump-off point for creators, acting as a studio where content is developed and tested before being sold to major streamers like Hulu or Netflix. So this is not a division, but this is a new initiative. But either way, the climax of the video centers on a recent Reuters report that Google has launched a new film and television production initiative called 100 Zeros. This effort, in partnership with Range Media Partners, is intended to scout and co-produce projects to be sold to traditional studios and streaming platforms. Let's keep going. YouTube Spaces. The video revisits the history of physical YouTube Spaces studios provided by the company for creators to learn and produce content to illustrate how the company has supported production in the past. And then creator economy. Braylon emphasizes that while Google Studios or YouTube Studios is currently a prediction rather than confirmed fact, the company's entry into film and television production through the 100 Zeros initiative is a significant shift that can provide new opportunities for the creator economy. So that's that video. I talked about this 10 months ago. On May 6th of 2025. Let's keep going. YouTube as a media powerhouse. Braylon highlights how YouTube viewership on TV sets has surpassed mobile devices in the United States, knowing that the platform is now the epicenter of culture and global conversation. Sports Frontier major focal point is YouTube's aggressive push into live sports, specifically the multi-billion-dollar NFL Sunday ticket deal and the successful broadcast of exclusive NFL games, which Braylon identifies as the final frontier for digital platform dominance. The case for YouTube Studios, once again, there is that platform, YouTube Studios, coming right up the rear. Braylon argues that a YouTube studio's model is an inevitability. He believes that this will serve as a great equalizer for content creators, allowing smaller, talented content creators to partner with production companies to license and monetize their work on a larger scale, similar to high-profile creators like Mr. Beast. The video covers how traditional media giants like Saturday Night Live, NBC are finding their biggest reach on YouTube, how companies like Banjai Entertainment are launching career labs to modernize dormant intellectual property with digital talent. And also, Studio Lambert is also in the process of creating content exclusively for YouTube. So big production companies that are on linear TV are now getting into the YouTube space. Let's keep going. The future collaboration, Braylon discusses the necessity and how platforms like Tubi and YouTube are becoming the new standard for Gen Z millennial audiences, emphasizing that creators must control their own destinies and own their content rather than just licensing it. So when you think about Patrick or Pat McAfee, right, he has a licensing deal with ESPN. So that's why he can license it on ESPN. He can do whatever he wants, and ESPN, pushes the platform. Pat McAfee is with WWE on College Game Day. So Pat McAfee believes in diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and understanding the power of utilizing the weight to make that connection with the audience, right? Let me show you when I did this live stream. I did this live stream 5 months ago. October 17th, 2025. Let's keep going. Now, this was talking about the updates to live streaming on YouTube. Let's get into it. Once again, in this live stream, creator Braylon Lee breaks down the major 2025 updates to YouTube's live streaming studio and shorts features. The core of the session focuses on how these tools empower creators to professionalize their content, monetize more effectively, and potentially bridge the gap between digital content and traditional media, a concept he refers to as YouTube Studios. Once again, let's keep going. Give me a moment, y'all. There we go. Live streaming enhancements. YouTube is expanding the ability for creators to perform live reactions to other broadcasts and events. Now, that also determines, the wrinkle with that, rather, is will you get a copyright depending on what you are reacting to? That is the question. It also introduces artificial intelligence AI-powered highlights, which automatically generate shareable shorts from compelling moments in a live stream. YouTube Studio and Workflow. New tools include an inspiration tab for content brainstorming, A/B testing for tiles and thumbnails, expanded collaboration features for up to 5 creators per video, and AI-powered lip sync dubbing to increase global accessibility. So imagine my voice dubbed in every language across the world. That's pretty much what AI-powered lip sync dubbing is. And then monetization and brand partnerships. YouTube is introducing more flexible brand partnership formats. Instead of permanently burning in ads, creators will be able to swap out ad segments dynamically. Additionally, the platform is expanding to automatic product tagging. Generative AI and Shorts' new creative capabilities are rolling out, including the ability to add motion to photos, restyle video aesthetics, and use AI motion to videos, restyle video aesthetics, and use AI to generate a first draft for raw footage, or even create songs based on video dialogue. Hey, 4 people, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Hey, Florentin, good to see you, good sir. Once again, the YouTube Studios vision. Throughout the stream, Braylon Lee proposes his vision for YouTube Studios, a structured infrastructure where top performing creators can partner with production companies to scale the digital shows into professional properties for TV networks and streaming platforms. He emphasizes that 30% of daily registered users consuming live content. The landscape of media is shifting, and the platform is uniquely positioned to lead this evolution. 3 times that I have talked about YouTube Studios. And YouTube keeps doing moves that seems like it's going to go to that level. I'm trying to think of something here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Do y'all really want to play with me, huh? Okay. Now on board, we've teamed up with YouTube to help you discover more of the world you love. Our partnership reflects Delta's vision of blending cutting-edge technology with meaningful collaboration to enhance your travel experience on your upcoming flight. Enjoy a selection of popular YouTube videos and music playlists on your seatback, plus a free preview of YouTube Premium on your personal device. And not to mention, 2 content creators will be making exclusive content for Delta Airlines. Yeah, I keep up with it. I do. So, with all that being said, I think we shall get to the interview now with Neal Mohan of YouTube. Now, like I said, I have no hate, no animosity, nor shady energy towards Phil McComb. Not Phil McComb. That's Phil Metker. I meant Neal Mohan. I don't have any shade, any hate, or any animosity in Neal Mohan. But what I don't appreciate, what I do not embrace, and what I frequently am pissed off to the highest pissed offtivity is these moves that I pulled up that you all are doing. And yet y'all don't see the moves that need to be made. And you said the best never leave YouTube. That's what you said. But I brought up all these different partnerships that you guys are doing. This is all public information. I'm not making up anything because I don't have to make up anything to have a platform. Check my resume before you clock my resume. Okay. And it's just very mentally exhausting. I'm going to keep doing it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, well, Bray, if it's mentally exhausting for you to call YouTube out, why do you keep doing it? Because if you don't say the quiet part out loud, it will stay quiet. I know that sounds very redundant. But it's just like what Phil, Florentin, and myself do with BFP Imagineering. In the words of Walt Disney, we are restorers of order. We restore with imagination again and 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 again. And so it's just like I keep seeing moves that looks like YouTube Studios is coming. And it's just, when it comes, it's just like, okay, really? It took this long? Like I said, y'all worth what, 550 billion to 457 billion dollars? Child, let's get to the interview. From the New York Times, what is YouTube's dominance doing to us? We asked its CEO. Let's get to it. By the way, shout out to Lucia Garcia Navarro. YouTube is now the leading way Americans watch video. Its audience is young and astonishing. 90% of American teenagers are on the platform. YouTube TV is bigger than many cable operators. Since last year, the main way YouTube has been consumed in the United States is actually connected television. Television is not dying. It's just evolving. YouTube has changed not only what we watch. Think of content creators like Jimmy Donaldson, better known as Mr. Beast, and podcasters like Joe Rogan, but also how we watch it with interactive features as a part of the platform's allure. As the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. I think that was Uncle Ben for Spider-Man. He deserves a quote there, which is why I wanted to sit down with YouTube's Chief Executive Neal Mohan, who has led the company since 2023 and overseen its rapid growth. The platform's rise hasn't come without controversy. Just this week, a jury in California found YouTube alongside Meta neglect for harming a teenager's mental health through its addictive features. That verdict, which YouTube said it will appeal, came down, and after Neal and I talked, our lengthy conversation did cover YouTube's impact on children and on us all. You can read that conversation here. You can watch a longer version, of course, on YouTube. I believe that was what, $5 to $6 million, the verdict, but it was in the millions for sure. Let's keep going. I want to start off with a statistic. Mr. Beast, the biggest content creator on YouTube, said that humanity now spends 2% of its waking hours on YouTube. Is the goal to make it 3%? I know Jimmy very well. He and I have not done that math together. Laughs. We measure ourselves by this concept of whether viewers, all of us, the 2 billion people that come to YouTube every single day, are satisfied by their experience. And we have grown. We are the number one streamer. We have an incredibly large podcast platform. And I will watch this conversation on YouTube. Of course, he will. Yes, what used to be an audio podcast is now a video podcast. This is the way to gain new audiences because everyone seems to be on the platform now. What is it that you think makes shows grow? I mean, how do you make this a hit other than grabbing a chair and bashing you over the head with it? Laughs. It's very simple. The people that are watching you on a television screen or on their mobile phones, the one thing that gets us out real quickly is if it's truly authentic. That's what comes through for the successful creators. And by the way, there are different levels of success, right? Where Mr. Beast is versus where I am, I got to 1 million views. Mr. Beast, he has made a whole career where if he wanted to quit tomorrow, he could and be fine. All right. But you have to take the success based on the level that you're currently at. Let's keep going. You have had several major podcasters leave YouTube for Netflix. Shows like The Breakfast Club, My Favorite Murder. Meta just announced that they are invested in luring some of your careers away. Apple is now talking about getting into the video podcast business more aggressively. They're taking the things you've built and saying, come over here, the water's warm. I'll say a couple of things about that. First, it is flattering that they see us as the center of culture. But when I speak to our creators, I speak to them several times a week. What they always tell me is that no matter what they look to do, they understand that YouTube is their home. There will be no Beast games if there weren't Mr. Beast on YouTube. Jimmy knows that. I have not come across YouTubers that completely yank their content off YouTube. I can't imagine why they would do that. And frankly, they're in a position where they can say no to that, right? Because the nice thing about what they built is that there are other places that are so desperate to work with them that they'll acquiesce to what our YouTubers ultimately know is the right decision for them in the long term, which is never to leave their home. Now, that is true. And I'm glad that Neal Mohan mentioned that there would not be a Beast Games without Mr. Beast on YouTube. But still, they are leaving YouTube to expand. So technically, they are leaving. keep it a buck. There was an interview with Liza Koshy where people asked, like, why aren't you on YouTube? So people have left YouTube, Neal. Listen, I know you speak to content creators several times a week. But hey, like I said, I found all those articles very easily. Let's keep going. At the beginning of 2026, you wrote, YouTube is the new TV because creators are the new prime time. I think one of the things that has Hollywood nervous is the question of quality. Prestige TV is something that is hard and costly to make. YouTube is mostly not that. I was looking at all these guys on how to get your videos to do well on YouTube, how to get the algorithm to like you and amplify you. Are you adopting any of them? Not yet, but it's all about tapping into a lizard brain and not about elevating things that have a narrative arc, that have character, development, that have more complex decision making. Are we losing something with the dominance of the kind of creator economy that YouTube specializes in? This is a conversation that the industry likes to have, and it's often the industry just talking to itself, to be honest. I think it is presumptuous for us to tell people that what is high quality or low quality or prestige or not. Have you heard of Roger and Ebert? That's all they did was critique films. But okay, moving on. At the end of the day, 2 billion people come to YouTube and they find what they love. And there's every type of creator and every type of genre, because it's a reflection of humanity. And I do agree with that. There is an audience out there for everybody. Here's the gag, as they say. If you want to reach everybody, you have to have purpose. If you want to reach the few, do anything. He said it 2 more times. If you want to reach everybody, do something on purpose. If you want to reach the few, do anything for attention. If you want to reach everybody, be on purpose. But if you want to reach the few, then just do anything for attention. Back to the article here, back to our interview, back to our show here. We have incredible creators that are producing amazing scripted content in Hollywood, like Elaine King Chow or Kinga Dion, who have built sound stages. I would put that up against any quote-unquote prestige content out there. I would put Miss Rachel. Did I mention Miss Rachel left for Netflix? Yeah, I did. Or Mark Rober or Cleo Abram against any quote-unquote traditional produced content. And the great thing about it is that when the next Miss Rachel, the next Mark Rober comes along, who's even more creative in a different way, they get a shot. They get a shot at it as well, as opposed to someone in traditional media saying, "No, I don't think your idea is a good one or it's low quality." Who are we to say that? Neal, I think you know that when YouTube Originals was around or YouTube Red, y'all had to decide who got an original and who did not. So y'all had to look at the content creator and their history. You had to look at their numbers. You had to look at their media kit to see the gender ratio between male and female and other, of course. Then you had to look at the demographics. Then you had to look at the different sectors that they were in, whether that was cooking or whether that was horror, whether that was automobiles, whether that was fashion. You had to look at all that to see if there was enough there to give them a shot in making a YouTube original. So you say, who are we to say that? But yet y'all did that with YouTube Originals. You don't want to play in my face, Neal. I have no smoke for you. I have no hate for you. I have no animosity to you. And I believe in what you're saying, that YouTube in 2026 is going to have a year. But in order to have that year, you have to be real about the moves happening around you so you can handle what's in front of you. You have to be real about the moves that are happening around you so you can be real with what's in front of you. You have to be real about the moves that are happening around you so you can be real about what's in front of you. Let's keep going. Shout out to this interviewer, Louisa. So content creators are king, but you are moving into you're moving into the traditional purview of the networks. You secure broadcasting rights for the Oscars in 2029 and currently some NFL games. I've seen predictions that this is going to be the death knell for cable and broadcast television because these are such big tentpole events. What is the strategy here? Is it to pick off the biggest events from traditional broadcast television? Is the Super Bowl next? Man, it is really nice when you can relax, relate, and release to know that you've been on it. And it's nice every once in a while when legacy media is clocking that T right along with you. Not, right next to each other, because Louisa doesn't know I exist. But if you follow the red bouncing ball, I think you know the video I'm about to play. One thing to know, two things for sure, that over here on this channel, a lot happens early. Roll.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. A lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price.
And it's a little early for this.
Now this it's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. A lot happens early. Every day's good when you're starting it out right. But whenever you the daylight, and a lot happens early. Can you feel it? And I said,
Good morning, everybody.
Are you girls ready for the Jonas Brothers?
We have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
Dirty.
Early.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot happens
Early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Although I have to say to you, Julie Chen Moon, this is a new evening, and to rest of today, Price, Harry Smith, and Maggie Rodriguez, you are absolutely right on this channel. A lot happens early. Oh, I love the show. We damn do over here. Yes, indeed. I was about to say another word, but anyway, moving on. If you think about from a viewer standpoint, especially a younger viewer, their expectation is that when they turn on the TV, all of what they want to watch and engage with is in the same experience. That's everything from 15 seconds short, by the way. Lots of people watch shorts of televisions, to a 15-minute classic YouTube video on demand, to a 3-hour podcast or a 3-hour NFL game or a 15-hour live stream, because we have lots of streamers on our platform. And the expectation is that all of that is a seamless experience that they can get through their recommendations on YouTube. I have an 18-year-old son. He's a sports nut. He watches a live sports, but his sports highlights are his YouTube feed, and the NFL understood that. And so that led to the partnership. The Oscars was a similar type of conversation with the Academy. Since you mentioned the Oscars, did you see Conan O'Brien's skit this year where he poked fun at YouTube? He had 2 YouTube jokes, actually. What did you think? I think Conan is very funny. And actually, he's a YouTuber. He's been on YouTube for a very long time. His Team Coco channel does really well on YouTube. I understand that you are a big reader. There are studies showing that our video consumption has ushered in this age of post-literacy. Gen Z now overwhelmingly prefers to consume visual content on YouTube as opposed to traditional media, and that has tracked with a drop in reading levels, attention span. What do you think about YouTube's role in changing the way that we think and our brains? Wow. Taking a big swing from the window to the wall. Presumably you're talking about young people. My brain too, yeah. I have 3 kids of my own, so as a parent, I think about their development every single day. I encourage my kids to run around and touch grass. I encourage them to read as much as they possibly can. On YouTube, there's content we describe, the young people find entertaining, and they are learning new things on a regular basis. This isn't a gotcha. I'm genuinely curious. Do you think it matters that they are learning things through video, and that's changing the way they absorb information? I think that video, just like reading, is an important way for people to learn. And when you say the term video, it's like learning visually. Back in the day, we learned in the classroom visually from a teacher. So I do see a lot of learning that happens on YouTube. Actually, teachers tell me that all the time too. My daughter is dyslexic, and YouTube is a huge part of her life. She learns visually. It's been a godsend for her for all sorts of different reasons. So this isn't to say that this is necessarily a bad thing, but it is a thing. I think about it more in the analogy of a library. It's a visual library, but it's a library that has lots and lots and lots of books in it. And the way rather that information or knowledge is consumed or new ways of thinking is communicated is audio visual. And I do think that is an effective way for people to learn. Do I think it's the only way? Of course not. I want to ask you about a lawsuit that's happening where you're currently, along with Meta, being sued by a young woman who says YouTube is addictive and harmful. This is considered a landmark case here in California. Do you feel responsibility to remedy the harm if your site is addicted to people? After Mahone and I spoke, the jury in this case found YouTube and Meta, also known as Facebook, negligent. A YouTube spokesperson told us that YouTube disagreed with the verdict and planned to appeal. I shouldn't comment on that specific trial, as you understand. What I will say is that YouTube is this platform where people go for many different reasons: to blow off, hey Phil, so good video, yes indeed. To blow off steam, to listen to their favorite artists, to connect with community, and to learn. So should we be thinking about protecting young people in the digital world as opposed to protecting them from the digital world? Best analogy I can think about is teaching my daughter to ride a bike. It starts with training wheels. You take off the training wheels, and eventually she can ride her bike and be on her own. It's impossible to put guardrails on kids with devices. It's so hard. That's what I was trying to say, that principle of making sure, oh, thank you guys so much. Love y'all for that. Love you, value, appreciate y'all for that. I think that's what was trying to say. Principle of making sure that we're protecting young people in the digital world as opposed to shutting them off from it. But I also think it's wrong, frankly, to eliminate that knowledge, that library content. So then how do you approach it? I think the way you approach it is to make it so that parental controls, as you describe, are truly practical and easy to use and can actually be enforceable. That's what we can do. And I will agree, there is YouTube Kids, but child, there's some stuff that's on YouTube Kids that should not be on YouTube Kids. Like I said, anytime and every time, right, that I do a tour, there have been, I don't know why, but there have been young people in the vertical live in my chat. I'm like, no. This is a grown folks channel. If your parents are watching, cool. This is for them, not for you. And plus, like, have you seen this show? Have you seen Brantley's virtual tour live? It is not your mama and daddy's entertainment news show. It is the after show for the culture of the culture by the culture, where we travel on the highways and byways of the possibilities of what could be by going to the hottest virtual destinations across social media to tell you the who, what, when, where, why, and how of why people are connecting with these virtual destinations. That's our show. It gets knees, weak, arms heavy like spaghetti energy over here. And I get what Neal is saying, right? Kids do need to learn, but there is a context, conjecture, and connection of how that should happen. Now, if you and your kid or kids or child or children or rascal or rascals, that's an old school term. But let's just say that you have kids that are content creators, right? This edition of Brainley's Virtual Tour Live is a great episode of the tour to show them, right? Because I am talking about the creator economy in a context, conjecture, and connection, that is giving a great weight to what you can learn from this. This is the CEO of YouTube saying what the platform is. There are lessons and blessings and reflections that you could take to apply to your content. That is way different than me being with BFP Imagineering going off about how much of a dumb actual social self Disney is being in their creativity. That's way different. So, Neal, I agree with you, but brother, if we're not responsible for what we do, then the consequences will be reflective in how people consume us. So I just want to add that to the conversation. Let's keep going here. As a parent, which I know you are, it can feel like you're fighting against Silicon Valley, like you're trying to put some guardrails and some order in the household, and you are fighting against these giant corporations, of which you are one. It feels for many parents like they just lose the battle. I think about how young people are growing up today. There are amazing things that happen, that access to information, to knowledge, because of platforms like YouTube. I also understand the challenges you're describing, rather. And so, not to trivialize them in any sense, because I experienced them, and it is something that I personally care deeply about, and it is personal. It's personal to me. Our approach to it is rather, how can we bring all of those awesome experiences, but do it in a way where parents are in control? That's what we worked toward. A couple of months ago, we announced the ability for parents to actually have a timer or short form video feeds, to set it to 0. That's industry leading. That has not been done before. So here's a question for you, Neal. Will you all also get there with long form content? Because there are gamers, right? And I'm not picking on gamers, but gaming is one of the biggest sectors on YouTube. And by the way, gaming will definitely be a part of the Tubi TikTok partnership, and will definitely be a vertical with Fox Creator Studios. Speaking of gaming, bring up another video. Like I said, isn't it nice when you can utilize your own content? Give me a moment.
Hey, we need a quick revision. Can you send the updated file by end of day?
Variety of viewpoints together so that, we're not having to do a big independent outside study to figure out what those desires will be.
Customer's never wrong, right? Unless they say we hate their team, then they're wrong.
They're rarely wrong, but, if you read X comments, you might see that sometimes they're wrong.
Maybe you disagree a little bit. We do love audience participation. We certainly are encouraging that as much as possible. So let's take a question from our virtual audience from the Q&A box. Braylon asked, with Super Nintendo World opening at Universal Epic Universe, would primetime Nintendo e-gaming tournaments ever come to NBC Sports or Telemundo? Very interesting question. I guess, Joaquin, we could start with you. They finished with Telemundo. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Good. We're going snake around
yeah, we can snake around. I like it. You got first pick.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we could explore. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's just such an interesting, because it's not a traditional sport in theory of you get out and you see someone on a basketball court, or even to the point of a Kentucky Derby, but it is something that gains a lot of popularity. And at the end of the day, I'd imagine if it draws eyeballs, it's still going to pay dollars and cents.
Yeah, we've done a lot of esports, different platforms, like Ron was mentioning, YouTube, Twitch, even taking them to non-traditional platforms like broadcast or cable. So yeah, always exploring.
Samir, do you have any thoughts on something like that?
Yeah, no, same. Whether it's e-gaming, we've looked at, pickleball, drone racing. There's a lot of sort of, different new and emerging sports, and we really take each on like a case-by-case basis. And, who's the audience? How does that compare to our existing audience? Sometimes it's good to have some overlap. Sometimes it's good to have a totally new audience, and we really look at that. And also, what's the right platform? Is this something that we should put on TV? Is this something we should put on streaming? Or if we should partner with for a different platform? But we look at things opportunistically, and especially things like gaming that are really sort of, really at the forefront right now of consumption. It's definitely something we look at a lot.
Alexa, I'm curious your perspective, because as someone who does something like a dog show, it's not your typical sporting event, but you clearly have an audience that you're trying to hit, exactly what Ron was talking about, considering the customer. So if you were to produce something like esports, how niche are you making it, and how much are you then trying to distribute and grow the audience simultaneously?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the Derby, you want to strike the right balance, right? You want to make the diehards feel seen. You want to make the casuals like learn something. I mean, my approach to any
Don't worry, I'm gonna give my commentary at the end of my video. Don't worry.
Make
There's
me
a point.
smile and make
There's
it stick.
a reason, a
So
point,
if
and
I
a
can
direction
find the right balance
why
of
I'm
that
playing this
through
video.
storytelling, I think it doesn't really matter what the content is.
I like that. Let's go to another audience question right here at CNBC. State your name and your school and fire away.
Hi, my name is Nicole Pissarro. I'm from Montclair State University. I wanted to ask, what is one thing about the industry that you all didn't know before you got started?
Oh, that's always an excellent question. Ron, we're going to start with you.
I didn't know that content could be consumed, created, and edited from an iPhone, because the iPhone didn't exist when I started in the industry. So that's one thing I would say. And then I'll just use that to say I'm continually amazed and thrilled with how we are constantly evolving and pushing. And you mentioned Epic Universe in the recent question, and that's just a great example of the creativity of our company. I got a chance to see it about a few weeks ago, and a very proud moment to be a part of this company. It's awesome. But I think the creativity, and there really is a spirit in this industry that if someone can think it, it can happen.
We do have an Epic Universe piece coming up later in the show, so that's always exciting. I like synergy. That usually is fun when it works out. Samita, what about you? What do you?
So
I was spending a fortune on sleep supplements that.
So I played that video for a very particular reason. Let me explain to you why I have Jimmy Neutron brain blasts, right? You have Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Japan. You have it at Universal Studios Hollywood. You have it at Universal Orlando. Don't worry, I'll play that Epic Universe commercial here in a minute. You have a partnership with Illumination. You just made Super Mario Galaxy, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which is coming out literally in 2 days on Wednesday. And I expect a very big April Fool's joke, Illumination and Universal and Nintendo. Otherwise, I'm going to be saddened, disgusted, and ashamed of your behavior. So you have the Super Mario Brothers movie. You have the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Nintendo is evolving to being more of an entertainment company. And you guys have the Legend of Zelda movie coming out with Sony. But here's the gog, darling. You know Studio 1A, the Today Show, Rockefeller Plaza? Right down the way is Nintendo New York. And you mean to tell me that y'all can't just pick up the phone and just say, hey, can we do a Mario Kart World e-gaming tournament live on NBC just for a night? Or even do Mario Kart World Friday Night Live Get Down Throwdown for 2 hours live on NBC just as a test. And you know why I played that video for my dad? He was like, they danced around your question. It is quite sad that they have the resources to do it, but yet they're not executing. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let me play that Epic Universe commercial real quick for y'all. Roll it.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe. A new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery. An isle of fire-breathing excitement. A A shadowy world of monsters and mystery. New wonders in the wizarding world. And a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
So you mean to tell me y'all can't make that happen at NBC, Universal, and Telemundo? You do know that the bulk of e-gamers is blacks and minorities. You do realize that, right? But okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going with the interview. I do want to talk about content moderation because as YouTube has become bigger and bigger, the responsibility becomes, I think, greater. Do you feel that responsibility in terms of how things have shifted and just having a lot more time spent on the site? Every single day, is my top priority in many ways. I'll often say that YouTube is a reflection of what's happening in the world, but what happens on YouTube also impacts the world. That's the motivation behind the responsibility. We are a platform that prides itself on being open without a gatekeeper. We stand for freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but we've had community guidelines on our platform since the day YouTube started, and living up to that responsibility is a big part of what happens around here. Starting in 2020, YouTube deplatformed a number of accounts for spreading lies. You have replatformed many of them, notably 47. After January 6th of 2021, you had suspended 47's account. YouTube wasn't alone in that. Many other platforms did the same. 47 then sued, accused you of censorship, and you reinstated his account in 2023. Then Google, your parent company, agreed to pay nearly $25 million to settle the case last year without admitting liability. Were you wrong to ban him in the first place? I'm trying to think of the policies that were in place back then. Many of those are not in place today. We have a long track record, working with administrations, really on both sides of the aisle. We make our decisions based on what we believe at the moment to be right for the creator ecosystem that we spent the bulk of the time talking about. Here, we strive to write our community guidelines in the best way we possibly can. We strive to be as much of an open platform as we can. But was it the wrong decision, at the time to ban a former president? It's hard to look at these decisions out of context. You think back to 2020, we were embarking on this pandemic that was going to shut down the world. Science was being created every single day. Did we reverse those policies? Yeah, we changed a lot of those policies because while the principles of freedom of expression, free speech remain immovable, we also want to be flexible in terms of the context around policies. Back to your question about around the president's channel in January 6th. I can't remember the very specific policy that was in place then, but that was during that particular time period. Fast forward, a lot of those policies, even independent of the lawsuit, were depreciated policies. So when I took over as CEO, one of the first decisions was to bring that channel back. I'll inform them that the weather is good for a stroll from Nintendo from the Rockefeller Center. Right. And this is the thing too, right? I think during 2020, when the pandemic was going on and people were saying that people weren't, dying in this, that, and the third, I do think that YouTube and all these social media platforms were responsible for what they were allowing on their platform, right? And Y'all know why I always say, wherever we don't confront, we allow. The reason why some lies live because y'all allowed the truth to die. I'm paraphrasing, but I know exactly what I said. And so I think because the president, added fuel to the fire, and it's not just me who believes this, a lot of people do, it's to the point where Candace Owens has called the president a coward. That's where we are in 2026. So I do believe that the platforms did the right thing. Now, of course, free speech is important, but then again, the president can't get on to Jimmy Kimmel about you can't say this and that, and the third, but yet you want free speech too, right? So it's a very fine line between freedom of speech and the weight of that freedom of speech. Those are two different things, but they very much intertwine with each other. Let's keep going here. Fascinating interview. That was your decision. That was ultimately my decision. Yes, the money, should we say, is being used to remodel the White House and pay for 47th ballroom. Do you worry about the optics of that? Again, we're very focused on our creators. There's a lot of discussion, as you know, about how powerful entities in corporate America are dealing with this administration. I'm sure that you're more focused on your creators, but I think that this is a fair question. I don't know the specifics of the ballroom. By the way, people are roasting, gagging, and dragging the logistics of the ballroom, in case you didn't know, or how it's being built. It's going toward a preservation trust. So I do think it's something that's going to be for the country. But honestly, the way I think about it is sort of the way you framed it in the question, which I think it is a way for us to sell old policies. Most of them are not even in place today and focus on the future. Something I'm hearing from you, I think it's very true, is that the culture has changed. And you have changed your policies along with that. There's a lot of reporting around what those changes at YouTube are. I'm wondering how something now gets taken down. What exactly are the community guidelines that get breached? Is it about the amount of time someone's saying something or the impact of what they're saying? Very good questions. It really breaks down into a few things. First is, as I said, clarity around the principles. And the core principle here, which again goes back to the very early days of YouTube, hashtag broadcast yourself, is that we're an open platform and we stand for free speech. That's the stance we've taken. We got criticized on both sides of the aisle constantly. We've seen what free speech abolitionists like Elon Musk and Twitter has become. That's a version of free speech, but I'm trying to understand what your definition is. I guess what I'm saying is that it starts with the principles. We try to hold to this tenet of free speech. So then the question is, how do you write a set of community guidelines that reflect it to the best of our ability? And I always say that's the hard work. That's the job. And the best we can do there is to write them and be transparent about them and do our best to live up to what we actually publish. We are going to get criticized on either side because everyone's going to be happy, because not everyone rather is going to be happy about where that line is drawn. I will agree and disagree. It's not that lines can't be drawn, right? It's about understanding that right is right and wrong is wrong. It's about understanding that just because those big content creators make you money doesn't mean that the ones that are rising up don't matter. But most of all, you cannot have a rising tide that lifts all boats if you're not investing in a current for that tide to rise. Let me say that on the big screen 2 more times. You cannot have a rising tide that lifts all boats if you're not making a current for that tide to rise. You cannot have a rising tide lifting all those boats in terms of free speech if you're not recognizing the different factions, the different sectors, and the different entities that are trying to have a voice, and you're not putting anything in that current to make that rising tide lift all those boats. back to the interview there. But I'm trying to understand where the line is drawn. Let's take an example. Candace Owens. She has 5 million followers on your platform and growing. Right now, she has a multi-part series on conspiracy theories around Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. She's also frequently talked about Bridget Macron, the first lady of France, being a man. There has been anti-Semitic comment in the past. So explain to me how she's not violating YouTube's community guidelines. Louisa, to you, darling. Two more times. One more time. I have to look at a very specific video there. It's hard to answer that question in a generalized sense. Louisa just told you. I mean, do you need YouTubers to go recon Candace Owens' channel to get her channel shut the fuck down? It won't be hard. The decisions we make are video by video, and we're able to do that at scale because of the investment in our systems and the people that we have. What I will say is that we do have guidelines around hate speech or harassment. We have guidelines around making sure that kids are protected on the platform around consumer fraud. In general, we try to allow the broadest spectrum of speech as possible. Sometimes it might be speech that people disagree with. You're describing one example. There's probably millions and millions of videos on YouTube that I disagree with and that you might disagree with, but don't have grounds for us to take it down. Well, let me just say this. I'm sure if Candace Owens talked about your kids, Neal Mohan, or your wife or any family member or friend that you have, I'm sure her channel will be gone. So I'm going to call a bullish on that. But hey, let's roll on. I don't know if it's disagreement. It's just a question of what are facts, what is truth, what is fair, and what is the responsibility of a platform like YouTube to elevate those things and not things that are unfair, untrue, and possibly damaging. Each one of the channels on our platform, the New York Times channel, the interview channel, you have the editorial standards that you live by, and they are certainly different across the various channels. Our job is to have a set of rules and guidelines. Every channel will draw a different line in terms of what they think is appropriate. That's why I did that live talking about content creators versus journalists. Journalists, they go out, they do the groundwork, they verify, they contextualize, bring together from A to Z and all the points in between, and then give us a story as it is. Content creators, they take the story, right? And they talk to you about the magnitude of the story, and they amplify why it has a weight to the culture. So journalists broadcast what people could be curious about. Content creators showcase what people are embracing. Journalists showcase what people could be curious about. Content creators reflect what people embrace. Broadcasters and journalists, they showcase what people could be curious about. Content creators reflect what people embrace. Let's keep going. I want to talk about what's coming. You declared a war on AI slop. Now everybody's doing AI slop because filmmaker Florentin and myself, we're utilizing AI as a resource, not the source. We're utilizing AI as a resource, not the source. We're utilizing AI as a resource, not the source. Let's keep going. But you're also handling creator tools to use AI, but you're also handing creators rather tools to use AI. How do you distinguish between a creative AI video and slop? I don't think that this is a solved question by any means, and frankly, the rate at which AI is impacting all of our lives, the ground beneath that question is changing on a weekly basis, if not faster. But I have this very firm conviction that it will never replace human creativity. People want to see an artist on stage because they know something about her life story or his life story or their life story. And some have background in terms of why she, he, or they wrote the lyrics that way and why he, she, or they performing it that way. Because of this notion of human stories on YouTube, I absolutely cannot have it be overrun with AI slop. AI can be a tool to produce amazing content or further democratize content creation, but can also allow for creation of lots of low quality content. There are aspects of it that are not new. The part that's rather new is the scale, but the notion of low quality content, clickbait content, we've been able to deal with that on YouTube. I also think we have to have a bit of a delicate hand on this. And I would tell you that every day we're trying to really strike that balance, but we're very, very focused on making sure that when you open up the YouTube app, it's not a feed of AI slop. And I will agree, when I open up my YouTube app, when I'm on my desktop, my homepage has human content creators. I will say that. Let's keep going, shall we? Right now, you have a little stamp when AI has been used on something. Is that enough? It's a place to start. The other big thing that I hear from creators, public figures, journalists, etc., is being able to manage their likeness in this AI world. That is profoundly important in my view, and not just the classic deepfakes, but also impersonation to trick a user or steal someone's creative idea. Those things will not get solved with an AI label. The big picture question around, well, if a video can review a technology product, can an AI generate reviewer do that? Then who needs me? I really believe, I could be naive on this, that what shines through on YouTube is that human connection, what that person stands for. Just like in your case, people understand what the interview means. They know how Lou is going to approach it. And I don't just think that's going to get swapped by AI. Now, here's a question that I think is very reflective of every content creator, every independent artist, and everybody who's trying to be somebody. Can you promise me that there's not going to be a Lulu bot doing my job in 2 years? I'm not naive to the point of saying that there isn't going to be disruption, but to your core question of that replacement rather of that human creativity element, what people connect with on a service like YouTube, I just don't see I don't just see AI generation replacing the humans. This interview has been edited and condensed from 2 conversations. Listen to and follow the interview on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. I think it's also on Spotify, not Spotify, but because I already mentioned Spotify, I meant Napster. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, you can follow them on YouTube and Facebook. So there's that director of photography, video, Aaron Cutter. So there is that there. And I will read this here from Lua Garcia Navarro. As I told Mr. Mahone in this interview, as the parent of a teenager, avid user on online media, sometimes I can sometimes feel rather like I'm standing alone against all the power of Silicon Valley, trying to curb the effects of our digital lives on my child and myself. In short, I have a deep respect and appreciation for the way YouTube is innovating and a deep curiosity over what their dominance means for our brains, our democracy. It's rare these days to be able to sit down for powerful tech and media CEO and ask tough questions. And I found Mr. Mahone was willing to engage on the thorny issues of our time. How has YouTube impacted your life, and how do you think is Shamari content? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I think us three, we've used AI in the way major companies have begun using there since August. Have begun using it since August to benefit for the better part of all. It's a good resource when used correctly. Absolutely. And like I said too, when I think of Charlie and Chocolate Factory, right? I think of that end scene of the Johnny Depp version where Charlie's dad had to come back to the factory because toothpaste machine. Everybody's building toothpaste machines. By the way, shout out to Toothpaste Millionaire. It's a kid's book, but it's a great book. Great book. That should be turned into a movie too. TV series. That should be a brand, the Toothpaste Millionaire or the Toothpaste Millionaire. That's that branded marketing promotion brand going on right there. But with that being said, while Hollywood is building these toothpaste machines of AI, myself, Phil, right there. Okay. You see, technology can be fun, right? Right there. Phil. Oh, hang on. Let me do this, right? Y'all can see we have fun over here. Right there. Okay, there we go. Right there. So Phil, y'all see my finger, and Florian right there, and myself, and everybody else, we are studying the toothpaste machines. So that way we could come back and be the legends that we are. With that being said, I'm going to turn to Karen now because we've done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. Woo! Talk about breaking down a whole interview. Very well done to Louisa from the New York Times, and shout out to Neal Mohan for sitting down with her and giving that much. You know what I mean? So shout out to all of them for that. So Phil and Florian, and to everybody in the house, what did you think of my breakdown of the Neal Mohan interview with Louisa from the New York Times? What did you think about the articles that I found to supplement and to elevate and to amplify this conversation? And also, too, what did you think of my own content showcasing the diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and the connection that YouTube Studios could be a platform? So, speaking of which, a great example is the guy on YouTube who created Story Realms Park. That's a great example. Like, shout out to Creative Genius. Yes, shout out to Park Lore, a great content creator. You can go to parklore.com for that detail there. So I will let Phil and Florian give their final thoughts here, and then after that, I will give my final thoughts, and then that's it. That's all I got for you. 3 shows in one day, everybody. That's how we roll. That's how we get down. That is how we are about going to the higher that's waiting for us as a culture. Indeed, those maps are marvelous in itself. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Ooh, did I mention I did all that reviewing live? This wasn't taped. I just want everybody to know that. I know that my research and my due diligence and the vitality of my stamina seems like that. Wow, this really seems taped. No, it has the energy of that because I'm a content creator with a journalist soul. But this was done live. Now on the replay, it will be taped. Yes, indeed. So I'll let Phil and Florian give their final thoughts here. You did fine job, sir. Stellar job. Your diligence is always on point. Thank you, good sir. And like I said, I hope that this conversation really helps the creator economy. Anytime that I create content on the creator economy. Anytime that I talk about YouTube or any update to the entity of Creatorwood, right, it is really to help the platform. Now, sometimes I'm not the most articulate. Sometimes I gotta say what needs to be said. But it's always coming from a place of love, grace, and space of wanting us to win as a society, as a people, as a culture. Yes, indeed. Phil, any final thoughts from you, good sir, before I give my final thoughts? And then I am going to head on out of here because that literally is a show. I ain't got nothing else for you. I did the Daily Motivator during 6 o'clock show. So if you missed that, go back to the 6 o'clock show from Married to Medicine and go right to the end. You'll know it when you see the Daily Motivator pop up on your screen. And that's it for me. Like I said, the content that will be coming down the pipeline over here on our channel tomorrow night, 90 Day Fiance, the single life will be happening. That after show review will be happening live at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then at 8:30, we're pitching an all new Pleasure Island for all of you. Cannot wait for you to see that. Then Wednesday, April Fool's Day, and by the way, that's the same day that the Super Mario Galaxy movie is coming out. And hopefully Grace from Beyond the Trailer will lay their roll over and take it and keep her mouth shut and know her place by not saying anything stupid like the Super Mario Galaxy movie is not going to make any money. With that being said, on that Wednesday, April Fool's Day, we'll be talking about Nick Cannon and Melody Cherie Rogers. We're going to be talking about from a media point of view, a cultural point of view, and a relational point of view. And, I always give love, grace, and space to every interview. But since we have to pick our own battles or choose our own battles or move about the battles we, enter, I wonder how, if anybody's going to tackle this one besides me. We'll get to that on Wednesday at 6 p.m. live right here on YouTube. And then on Thursday, me and Phil have a challenge, of course. Our good friend Florence here loves Frozen Ever After, but we need originality back in the Disney parks. So on Thursday, which I normally don't go out on Thursdays unless there's something in the culture that needs to be talked about, or if there's something that I want to talk about with all of you, our virtual tour family here, me and Phil have a ride that I think I know without a shadow of a doubt, and it's through my soul that it is going to move you, inspire you, and elevate you to a level that, quite frankly, has been needed in the Disney parks for a long time. We're replacing Frozen Ever After with an all-new ride, so we can't wait to bring that to you on Thursday. And then on Friday, 2 new shows, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Jam-packed week over here per usual. It was executed greatly from YouTube to the interview. Thank you, good sir. Universal April Fools to the mouse. The quiet emoji, yes, from Melody Cherie Rogers and Nick Cannon. Wait till you see how I break that thing down, my Lord Jesus. And if I broke this interview down, you can only imagine how I'm going to break down Melody and Nick Cannon on Wednesday. Universal will indefinitely troll Disney on April Fool's Day. Oh, for sure. They are going to have one of the biggest animated movies of the year on April Fool's Day. And that's not a joke. And the frozen emoji for Frozen Ever After. Well, y'all, my final thoughts here is I don't hate Neal. I don't have any shade or malice towards him. Although I do want YouTube to quit playing in content creator spaces. Because everything I brought up, you can find on the internet. I just brought to you in a very easy, consumable, and digestible form. That's the first thing. Number 2, you do not want to have the Polar Express come through and you miss your chance to get on board. Polar Express only comes around Christmas time because it is a purposeful train. It's just not going here, there, everywhere. And the moves are happening around YouTube, but it seems like they really don't want to put that, they don't want to really give that golden ticket to get on the train to see the movie. And finally, what happens when you ultimately must do what people have been sounding the alarm about. I'm going to say this on camera because I think this is a very important point. What happens when you finally do the thing that people have been sounding off about? What do you do when you finally do the thing that people have been sounding off about? Is it going to be as authentic? Is it going to have a weight to the culture? But most of all, will it have a plan to sustain itself? Because of the society we live in, and because we have the marketplace that we have, of course, not if, but when YouTube Studios comes about, or even a partnership like TikTok and Tubi did, where it'll be a partnership with TikTok and Tubi, not TikTok and Tubi, I already said that, double spell. But when it's a partnership with YouTube and Tubi, what do I always say? If what I'm saying ain't true, don't respond to me. But if you do respond to me, it must be damn true to some, it must be true to some damn degree, a fifth, quarter, or a half of it. So just because it may take a while for something to finally be done that people sounded off about, doesn't mean that the energy of what they're sounding off about doesn't have any weight to it. What do I always tell y'all? If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. If you understand the moves that are happening around you, you'll understand what you're seeing in front of you. Now, I just want YouTube and Google Know and Alphabet. I did not break into any servers at all. I do not know what is in your email inboxes, your Gmail box inboxes. And I certainly have not bugged any of your boardrooms. But here's the gag, darlings. The more you put out public information, the more I'm connecting the dots. Think about how deep that is. The more y'all put out public information, the more I'm connecting the dots. The more that y'all put out, rather, public information, the more that I'm connecting the dots. What happens when you connect all the dots? Makes a picture. Y'all are making dots to make a picture. I'm just adding the color. But here's where you're gonna get hot. You ready? You don't mind me connecting the dots. You don't mind me filling in the coloring page. But what you cannot stand, what you won't, and what you will never stand for is me showcasing that colored page to the world. Because information is power. How you utilize that power can determine your rise or your demise. And with that being said, it's time for the best outro on YouTube. Yeah, Mario will make 1.5 billion to Hopper's 290 million. Now that's an April Fool's joke, and I do declare, yes, indeed it is. It's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you weren't born special, because you were always born a blessing. Trust you may not be where you want to be, but by the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Well, it's one thing to call yourself. It's nothing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I have spent time with you. You have spent time with me. Hopefully, I spend time together, rise some great together. And always remember, you're doing radio, television, YouTube, living your best life. Or maybe you're just doing a live stream, putting in your resume to be the creative director of YouTube, the company itself, or YouTube Studios, or YouTube-tainment. Make sure the replay is not just right for you to watch it, not just right for you to listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. I love you, I value, I embrace you. Always remember, or receive love, you gotta give it, or receive love, you gotta give it, or receive love, you gotta give it. Whatever obstacles you've overcome, whatever successes you have achieved upon this particular day, I'm extremely proud of you. And I really mean that too. But no one else is proud. You be proud of your damn self. Finally, y'all listen. Everything I said tonight was a prediction. Now, don't go try and find them people from YouTube on LinkedIn and contact them and give them this video and say, Braylon keep talking about YouTube studios. So y'all know what y'all doing. Da, 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 da. You know what happens when you hashtag something? It goes to that sector of YouTube and social media. So believe me, this video is now in their algorithm. It may take a minute. Let me tell you something. Every tour I've done has always had purpose. Even though the purpose may not have been magnified to the biggest audience, doesn't mean it didn't have a purpose to be seen. I'm going to say that 2 more times. Just because the tour hasn't been seen to the magnification of how many people could have viewed it, doesn't mean that the tour didn't have purpose. Just because the tour was not magnified to the amount of people that could have seen it, doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose. Because some tours come back around later on down the line when it's supposed to be time to talk about the weight of what that tour was all about. Commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, for the day that's come, for the blessings that are on the way for you, me, all of us, as a society, as a people, and as a culture. I feel the love, and I send it right back to you. Good night, everybody.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that They've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Are video games getting too expensive? This episode, we want to find some common ground because the CEOs want to raise the price even more.
Not with these broken ass games.
$5 million. That's how much San Andreas costs to make.
Is it their fault for selling or our fault for buying?
Corporations claim all this stuff. Devs say otherwise.
Sports gamers, cozy gamers, whatever you call the people who play Power Wash Simulator.
I think it stings a little bit more because I'm spending my actual money and my mom is not. Imagine they get rid of all movie theaters and then charge you the same price to watch the same movie at home.
That's like every streaming service. It doesn't have to be the longest of games, but am I having fun with it? This is Lex. I'm Ronell. Let's get right into it.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel, overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
I've been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content. I have been moving on my own accord, covering Black culture. There is more to life. I heard that, friend. Braylon, shout out to Braylon. Make sure y'all go follow Braylon in case y'all haven't. I love your content.
Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child, Braylon been over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying.